Once upon a time, sailors sailing across the Pacific Ocean noticed something strange happening around Christmas time. The weather would act strangely and the ocean currents seemed different. They called it El Nino, meaning the Christ child.
Raises the weather machine to a fevered pitch.
And today we've had that confirmation coming from the US scientists saying it is actually happening.
Temperature.
Earth is increasingly experiencing extreme weather.
All agencies are expecting an El Nino to arrive. It's just that the Americans have said it's arrived today.
I am Nebula, along with my friend Atom, and this is the story of the El Nino, a climatic enigma that has shaped the course of history and science. The journey to unravel the secrets of El Nino began centuries ago with the daring exploits of explorers and adventurers. Spanish sailors navigating the water off the coast of South America noticed peculiar changes in weather patterns and ocean currents during certain time of the year. El Nino was recognized by fishers of the coast of Peru as the appearance of unusual warm water. There has been no real records of what indigenous Peruvians call the phenomenon, but Spanish immigrants dubbed it El Nino.
As scientific understanding advanced, researchers began to delve deeper into the mysteries of El Nino. In the late 19th and early 20th century, pioneering scientists such as Sir Gilbert Walker and Jacob Bjerknes laid the groundwork for our modern understanding of climate dynamics. Led by the work of Sir Gilbert Walker in the 1930s, climatologists determined that El Nino occurs with the Southern Oscillation. The Southern Oscillation is a change in air pressure over the tropical Pacific Ocean. When the water near the coast of the eastern tropical Pacific gets warmer, which is known as El Nino, the air pressure above it drops. Scientists call this whole connected thing El Nino Southern Oscillation, or ENSO for short. Nowadays, most scientists just use El Nino and ENSO to mean the same thing.
One of the key breakthroughs came in the 1960s. Scientists embarked on the research expeditions to the Pacific Ocean, collecting data on sea surface temperatures, ocean currents, and the atmospheric pressure. With fancy gadgets to collect data about the ocean and the weather, they found out that warm water in the Pacific Ocean plays a big role in causing El Nino. Bjerknes was the first scientist to discover a link between El Nino and southern oscillations in the 1960s. Bjerknes posited a mechanism to explain the atmospheric features of this phenomenon.
Humans began to unravel the complex interplay between the ocean and the atmosphere. We learned a lot about El Nino by carefully watching and using math to figure things out. We found out that it happens when the usual winds in the Pacific Ocean calm down and the warm water piles up in certain areas.
El Nino isn't just a cool science thing. It actually affects people's lives. It can cause big floods or make places really dry, which is bad for farming and fishing.
To understand how El Nino forms, let's first talk about what usually happens in the Pacific Ocean. Normally, there are strong winds called trade winds that blow from east to west across the tropical Pacific. This area is in the middle of the ocean and stretches from the Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn. These winds push warm surface water towards the western part of the Pacific, near Asia and Australia.
During El Nino, the usual winds that blow from the west weakens near the equator. This causes warm water to move from the western Pacific towards the coast of northern South America. The warm water layer gets thicker, making it harder for the cold water from below to come up. Without this cold water bringing nutrients, the ocean near South America can't support its usual fish and marine life. This hurts the economies of countries like Ecuador and Peru. which relies on fishing. Many countries in the southern hemisphere also face the effects of El Niño. This phenomenon can lead to extreme temperatures like too cold or too hot. As we learned, it is also a hindrance for the agricultural development of a country. Due to extreme climatic conditions like droughts and floods, the health of people is affected. Not only humans' lives, but other animals are also affected and harmed.
El Nino also messes with the weather. Places like Ecuador and northern Peru get a lot more rain, leading to floods and damage to homes and crops. But in places like Indonesia and Australia, there is less rain, which causes droughts and threatens water supplies for farming. El Nino also messes with the weather in other parts of the world. It can make winters colder and longer in places like California and Washington. The most intense El Nino events, like the ones in 1982 to 83 and 1997 to 98, caused serious problems around the world. There were droughts, typhoons and floods in different countries, and fishing industries suffered a lot.
As we learn more about El Nino, we can better prepare for its effects. By working together and studying the planet, we can understand how El Nino fits into the big picture of climate change.
Well, that's it for today, guys. We'll see you again in the next video. Till then, bye.